Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. And in this video we're gonna talk about the huge elephant in the indie game development room that is called marketing. I know, it's terrible, it's something we never want to do, but we always have to do it. So I'm gonna talk about it because it's been probably, or no, clearly the most requested topic on this channel for many years now, and I always avoided it because honestly I thought I wasn't good at it or I wasn't knowledgeable enough to talk about it. And I know that doesn't stop a lot of other game development YouTube vloggers to cover topics, but it did stop me to cover this topic. But since this year is also my 20-year anniversary as an independent game developer, I started to think that maybe I do know something about marketing because I have been making it work somehow. So let me just share the stuff I know and the stuff I've been doing and maybe some tips and tricks here and there. And also let's talk about a couple of things that knowledge is out there, but some of that knowledge is just useless or wrong or not exactly usable. So let's talk about marketing. There's so much to cover. We're not going to cover everything. There's going to be a bunch of things I'm missing, and drop all your ideas and thoughts in the comments below because I'm sure there's a lot more that we can all benefit from. But let's first see if we can piss off some PR people after the intro. All right, pissing off PR people. I'm gonna try to do it in a nice way. PR people don't really know what they're doing either. That's in short, and that's very, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but PR companies, I've worked with one through the publisher, and I've talked to many PR companies because usually PR companies reach out to me and then I have one question for them. What can you guarantee? And how can you make me feel safe with giving you money? A PR company costs anywhere between like $1,000 to $3,000 or upwards. I guess there's no limit to it, but for $1,000 they'll do like write a press release for you, possibly send it out for you, but often you have to pay more because they have a PR list that contains a lot of email addresses from all these game sites and all these other people, and they're gonna spread that mail. Of course, it's just a newsletter, so it's still gonna be like 10 minutes work and the computer does everything else. Doesn't matter. They have this data, all these email addresses. First thing here is that, let's face it, even if you have 200, 300 email addresses, most of them are not that interesting. There are like 5 to 10 key websites, depending if you're doing PC or console or mobile. For mobile, there's even less key websites that you want to reach out to. But if these big sites talk about your game, then that's all you really need. Those really make the impact, and all the smaller websites will follow that. Of course, it's interesting to be on all these smaller websites, but a lot of that is blogs. It's literally hobbyists just talking about games, and they are enthusiastic about games, but they don't have a lot of readers. They have their friend group and maybe a couple of other people, a small community pretty much that follows them. So it's cool to mail them, and if you can, mail them, but all that PR value in those email addresses isn't really that much value. It's about these key websites that need to be contacted. Now, most of these PR companies always have a link to a data sheet or fact sheet or a little write-up of how a certain game performed and they did this and that marketing for them. The thing here is that often these games were already a little bit of high profile. Of course, the PR company is going to talk about their successes, but is it the success of the PR company or the success of the game developer? These games did well already. They got into certain big events, and most coverage was thanks to being in that event, and there's not much from the PR company there. It's mostly these events did the thing for the game, and the PR company just rides that wave. Now, I'm not saying PR companies have no value at all. That's not the case. Obviously, they do a bunch of things that will cost you a lot of time to do yourself. So if you have money to spend on other people doing this job or this task, then a PR company is the thing you need to look into. But if you do not have that money, and a lot of us game developers simply don't have it, and remember, there are no guarantees, and that's the weirdest thing about stuff like this. As a game developer, you're pretty much at the bottom when it comes to earning money. Freelancers, PR companies, publishers, artists, call it what you want, they all get paid for the work they do that goes into your game, and now you have to sell that game and hope for the best because you haven't gotten paid yet. You've just been paying all these other companies and parties, and having a party in there that gives no guarantee. I mean, a musician will create music for you and you can say, I don't like it, can you tweak a little bit like this, and you'll know what you're getting before you pay. Same with an artist. Yeah, I like how you animated this guy, but I don't like the animation of this girl. Could you change it a little bit? And you get what you pay for. A PR company pretty much says, pay us and we'll send out email press releases and we'll contact people and we'll write a cool press release for you, but we can't guarantee it will be picked up. You still gonna have to pay that PR company anyway. That's just very difficult for smaller indie game developers, and there's a lot of PR companies out there. Some of them are pretty good, but let's face it, not all PR companies are good. And that's just how it is and how it goes. So make sure you understand what you're getting into if you're looking into a PR company. Now, there's also a lot of information out there to market your game. And one of the websites from Chris is How to Market a Game. A good website. A lot of people go on there. A lot of people read up there. And there's just a lot of information there that you should read and learn about and think about if you're creating your games. Now, I'm not going to piss off Chris. Sorry if you're watching. The thing here is, and it's not just Chris, this is about all these type of companies. There's newsletters out there. There's websites. Their business is selling you their business, their marketing skills, their consulting, their courses, their things. They're not creating games. And I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just hope. It's just one of these things that everybody should be aware of. Oh, I wasn't planning on talking negative about these things. Honestly, check out Chris's website. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of good stuff on there. Just always make sure you put it in a relation to yourself and your own game and your own knowledge and your own skills and all that stuff. And it's easy to talk about these things. It's harder to do these things. So keep that in mind always. Now, one of the tips you'll run into a lot is make a game in a genre that everybody enjoys and likes and most people love, and make that type of game. Obviously, this is the most stupid tip out there in all PR world or marketing world, because that's not how a creative works. You can't ask a jazz singer to make pop music. There's a reason they're doing jazz. They like and enjoy creating jazz music. It might not be as popular as pop music. That's what they do. You might ask a folk singer to start doing rap or dance music, but that's not what they want. A creative wants to create a certain thing. And that's where it starts. And marketing and PR should be built on top of that. And it shouldn't be looking at create the most popular thing because that's going to be doing very well. That's not the mindset that most creative people have. And that tip is just useless. Let's talk about some things that do work, and especially for smaller game developers like me. This is what I've been doing. This is how I've been doing it. Okay, I'm stopping the video right here because I started rambling about so many things. As I said at the beginning of the video, marketing just too much to cover. So I'm gonna distill all this to a couple of points that I've written down now. So if you see me reading, this is the first time actually using a script, and I might actually have to read from it. First thing, whatever you're gonna do about marketing your game, do it as soon as possible. Whenever you got something you're enthusiastic about and you only started prototyping it, doesn't matter, show it, start showing it. This will also give you a measurement of are people interested in your game or what you're trying to create. And of course, it also sets expectations. You have to watch out with that. I think I talked about that a few videos ago. Make sure people don't expect a certain thing that you're completely moving another direction from. So, but still, try to show as much as possible whenever you can, and do it as soon as possible. Get your Steam page, store pages, other pages up and running as soon as possible so people can go somewhere to read up on the game, and preferably wishlist, or if it's on mobile, maybe show interest or start talking about it on a forum or discussion or Discord server, I guess. So those type of things, which bring me to point one. Community building, not something you do per game, but preferably for all your games and over a longer period of time. This is why I have this YouTube channel. I have my Discord server, just trying to create a community. The key thing here is that you're not constantly telling people to buy stuff from you. It's usually just a give, and then you ask. Like, I create a lot of videos and content. I rarely ask people to buy my games. And that's not what this is about. I'm just trying to give a lot of information on my YouTube channel. On Discord, I just have a lot of fun. I work alone in my office. I have no colleagues. Discord is pretty much my workplace, and colleagues are there and other people that are doing the same type of thing or maybe something else but also need a little relief. That's community building. You do that long term, and every now and then you ask that community to perhaps check out your game or share tweets or share videos or whatever. But that's community building. And another example of that is doing a newsletter. I use Sandy and Amazon SES, but you can do MailChimp and other stuff. There are expensive options. There are very cheap options. You have to figure out what works best for you. Community building, but that's not just for one game. That's just for hopefully many years to come. And the second point is integrate as much as possible into your workflow. Whatever you're going to do for marketing purposes, usually creating assets, GIFs, videos, cool images, maybe snippets of music or whatever, do it during your workflow so that it doesn't become a certain task that you put on the side until you have time for it. No, try to do it whenever you got something. You just created something new in your game and it looks cool. Make a video or a GIF from it and start posting it in your communities, but also on social media platforms wherever you can. Perhaps something went terribly wrong in your game, like a weird bug spawning 1,000 characters. Interesting, funny to share. Create a GIF out of it and dump it everywhere you can. It doesn't have to be dumped immediately because you can use those GIFs over a period of time, but try to capture that moment and make it an asset for marketing material and marketing purposes. So whatever you do, try to make it part of your workflow. In that case, it's less work. Perhaps you got some new music for your game, or you had somebody create music for your game. Maybe create a short snippet and put it on social media with a nice art of your game somewhere. I actually haven't done that for my own game. I should try that as well. But things like that, use it and try to post it everywhere. It's very easy to do. It doesn't cost a lot of time or money or any money at all. And that's pretty much marketing. Try and get as many people to notice your game in whatever way possible, preferably positive. And where possible, of course, try to automate all that. I have created a little bot on my Discord server and I can now post besides it being a game for the community, it can also create little copies of text I post up there and GIFs and images, and it will create at the end of the week, it will assemble all those things into a nice post and it will post that on my WordPress website, and the website will have new content, and I will then have that content available for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, social media. It's all automated. It will also grab all my to-do tasks or the stuff I did from my Trello list and creates nice and interesting posts on the website. All automated. Whatever you can automate pretty much. And that brings us to the final tip, I think the most important one, when you're about to release, mailing and reaching out to streamers and other communities, because you want as many people to notice your game and you need other communities because that's a lot of people at once. Preferably you are part of that community. That makes it a lot easier. If you're not, for example, a YouTube streamer, Twitch streamer, they have their own community. If you can get them to play your game in front of their community, that's pretty cool because their community trusts them. So if they like your game and show your game, they might actually try out that game. And that's pretty much what you want. And you can post on certain Reddit communities. Again, try to be part of that community because that makes it a lot easier. If you're not, your message could be removed or people couldn't care less. And find Facebook groups or other groups that might be interesting in the topic of your game. It doesn't necessarily have to be a gamer website or a gamer community. You could also find, maybe if you're creating a game about trains, find a model train group or forum or community or whatever and post about it there, see if they're interested. Because apparently you have interest in trains as well, else you wouldn't be making that game, I guess. So maybe you have more in common with those people and they might be very interested in buying your game. And that brings me to the final thing, paid advertising. I have not a lot of experience with that. I did it on Facebook, Reddit, and haven't done, no, not Twitter yet, but on the first two. I don't know, you need to know a lot of things about reaching the right type of audience with your ad. And it's a little bit with PR companies. You don't know, there are no guarantees, but you're paying money up front. So yeah, I can't say much about it because I don't know much about it. I'm just not experienced in that part of it. If you have money to waste on this and you can experiment, then go for it and let me know if you get good at it, because I might want to hire you if it's for the right amount of money. But paid advertising is just another option. It's pretty much does the same. You're trying to reach a certain community or a certain group of people just all at once. They might not be in one place, but you try to find them all at once with the right ad target and the right type of person, and hopefully they will actually click through to your game. Personally, I don't like advertising because I ignore most advertisements anyway. A lot of people have advertising blocked. I'm not sure, but on the other hand, Facebook, Google, Apple, all these companies exist just solely because of advertising. So there must be something there. Although they are on the receiving end of the money, that might be the difference. Anyway, back to the original video. I'll just do the ending of that part. I think this was a much better take than what I had previously. Back to other me. And I'm sure I haven't covered everything, and I'm sure I pissed off some PR people and marketing people. I know it's all not black and white. There's a lot of nuances everywhere. These videos cannot cover all of that. So whatever you have to say about all of this, drop it in the comments below. If you have more questions, follow-up questions, I can do a second or third video on this, because I know there's a lot more. If you want to talk about it, hang out on the Discord, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.